peace and blessings. This is Derric Rau Khu more, and wanted to make a relatively short video, or I should say is relatively short in comparison to the videos I've made in the past, but wanted to make a real quick video. And this video is by request, but this video is also going to address a couple of concerns, or a few concerns that I've had in regards to a lot of things that we do in regards to, how do you put it, venturing and dealing with people outside of who are not spiritually minded. Okay, we are spiritual. You know, we're coming into this path. We're walking this path, but everybody we're dealing with is not on that same path. So as a result, we still have to go ahead and take our family and, our kids, and we still have to go to the grocery store. We still have to go to the market. We still have to go to all these different places and basically deal with individuals who are not who are not on that spiritual path, and who have the tendency, okay, that's a better way of putting it, they have a tendency to go ahead and be violent. They have a tendency to go ahead and want to do some gunplay and all that kind of stuff. So this video really was going to go ahead and was going to be about protection, and it's going to still talk a little bit about protection. But I got to thinking, how come we don't really talk about this kind of stuff anyway? How come we don't talk about the magic within spirituality? And part of the reason why we don't is mainly because, kind of came to that conclusion. And part of the reason why a lot of us really don't do it is because we still suffer from that catharsis from the old religion. We were told not to talk about that kind of stuff. We were told not to talk about the hoodoo. Like I said, y'all know I don't like the word hoodoo, but not to talk about the conjure, not to talk about root work, not to talk about, not to talk about luck or any of that kind of stuff. I know when I was raised, my parents, they told us, good luck doesn't exist. It's all about Jesus. Okay. There's no such thing as good luck. There's no such thing as bad luck. It's all about Jesus. That's all. You do it all in Jesus' name, So I wanted to go ahead and talk about that. And the reason why this kind of was spun is mainly because here in Kansas City, they went ahead and they had a parade celebrating the Kansas City Chiefs victory. Okay. We're not going to talk about the ritual, not going to talk about it being rigged and all that kind of stuff, because, like I said, that's another, we can talk about that later, okay? But because of that parade, because of them having this parade, it was like after the parade took place, they had some, how it goes. There were some juveniles that got into some gunplay. All right. It wasn't actually during the parade or anything. It was while people were leaving that they went ahead and there was some violence that broke out. Now, if you've been on this path, this is not the first time we've heard this. This is not, I hate to almost say that we're becoming desensitized by it, but it's not alarming to us anymore. Okay, we're pretty much, this is becoming a regular routine. Every time there's some type of peaceful event, there's always some kind of violence that seems to break out. All right, and it's because, for the most part, what we know is because there's no knowledge of self. People are not invested in their spirituality. They're not invested in anything spiritual minded. So they don't know how to manage their emotions. And as a result, Set basically is able to run amok. Okay. So we know this. All right. We're familiar with this. This is what our ancestors told us in the Kemetic story of Osier. They told us this was going to happen. They told us every time Osier went ahead, they told us there's going to be a peaceful, There's always going to be some kind of party or always some type of celebration, and there's always that Setian element is always there. All right. Now, because of that, we have to go ahead and we have to know about some protection. We got to do some protection. But like I said, before I actually going ahead and talking about that, I wanted to go ahead and kind of explain what magic really deals with and why I don't have any problem talking about magic publicly now, because I understand it. All right. And we have to go ahead and we have to remember, we have to think about this. There's two realities. Okay. You have the physical reality. Okay. This little, this 10th dimension, and we also have a spiritual reality. And that spiritual reality is really complex. It's really diverse. Okay. And it's really, it's really vast. All right. And we have to remember that these two realities are mirrored within ourselves. Okay. They exist in the universe, but they exist within us. Okay. So that being said, magic is not based upon intellect. It's not based upon logic. If it was, it would not be magic. All right. Magic is based upon, or is built upon, the spiritual principles. All right. As soon as you go ahead and you try to figure something out, you have a problem and you try to figure it out. What happens is that if you do it, as soon as you try to figure it out, your mind, because it's mirrored, like I said, mirrored by the universe, there's two parts of your mind that goes ahead and they kick in. But when you go ahead and decide, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to figure this out, I'm gonna try to do something, what happens is that it is your subconscious part of your mind that goes ahead and kicks in. As soon as you go ahead and you start thinking, okay, let me try to do this, it's the subconscious part of your mind that kicks in. Because you're starting to rely upon, you're looking and you're searching your subconscious for some experiences, some past experiences. Your subconscious is having you look through all those memories, or your personal memories, in regards to how to go about solving this problem. But as soon as you go ahead and you put that to the side and you say, okay, and you trust in your higher self, or you trust in your superconscious mind to go ahead and to solve the problem for you. Okay. You trust in the superconscious mind, or you trust in the God principle, or God, to go ahead and to rescue you or help you, or help you solve the problem or whatever. In other words, you suspend your intellect, you suspend your thinking about this. As soon as you do that, that's when magic happens. Okay. And I know this because when I went in here and I was, when I was going through my recovery process, I always refer back, and those of you who've been following me for a while, I always refer back to this whole thing of when they, quote unquote, when they diagnosed me with, diagnosed my body with the lupus thing. And as soon as they went in and they diagnosed me with, like I said, diagnosed my body with this, that was one of the things I kept saying. Okay. I kept saying I'm healthy. I didn't think about the fact that, how am I going to be healthy? Okay. I wasn't trying to intellectualize and logically say, well, how am I going to get over this? I didn't do any of that. I flipped it. I was on the other side saying, I am healthy. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to be healthy, but I know that I'm going to be healthy. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to recover or cause this thing to go into remission, but I know this is going to happen. Okay. And because of me going ahead and doing that, it happened. Okay. So that's when the magic takes place. So when you understand that, magic is not based upon intellect. Okay. Magic is based upon faith. It's based upon patience. it's based upon confidence, and it's based upon your intuition. Okay, and this is what your spiritual, or this is what the spiritual realm, the spirituality, that's what they function with. That's what they deal with. Okay. That being said, like I said, from a subconscious, or let me say, from a psychological perspective, magic is all about convincing your subconscious to go ahead and to link up with your superconscious mind. Okay. Said another way, magic is about going ahead and consciously getting your lower self to connect with your higher self. All right. If you like it that way. Metaphorically speaking, magic is about getting your stubborn set, okay, to go ahead and to follow your Haru so that it connects with the Osir, okay, or resurrect the Osir, okay. So the reason why I don't have a problem discussing magic publicly is because I understand how it works psychologically, and this is part of knowing thyself. All right. Now that we understand that, and we got that out there, and we understand how magic works, now you can see that basically, if you weave the story, all right, and you understand the story of Osir, now you can see that magic is all about going ahead, like I said, it's about going ahead and getting your set to follow Haru and link up with Osir. Then when it comes to protection, it's about going ahead, you have to think now, or you have to imagine, all right, how do you defeat your set? All right. So that right there should open it up to a plethora of ideas. There's your intuition right there. You can go ahead and you can take anything to go ahead and protect yourself and protect your family and your loved ones whenever we're going places. In the Kemetic tradition, there are, even though in the Kemetic tradition, there's, one, how do you put it? There's one Necharu who is, or one Necher that is considered to be a warrior, because I went ahead and as I, like I said, those of you who follow me, I talk about Papa. Because of my mentor, the way my mentor taught me was that because of the situations that's going on, all the Nechers are warriors. Okay, it's not just Haruka who's a warrior. All of them are warriors, and there's a few of them that sit close to the ground. So that being said, you can go ahead, if you already have a altar space or so for your Haruka, for your Empu, for your Ma'at. If you have altar space for your Haruka, your Empus, and your Ma'at, you can go ahead. You can light a candle to, set a light with them. Light a candle, set a light, and protect yourself that way. You can protect your family that way. You can go ahead and you can take some blessed pine oil, and you can, make a sign across you, or across your children, your loved ones or whatever. You can use that as protection, because now that falls up under Haruka protection. Okay, so like I said, there's a whole lot of things that comes about. You can go ahead and you can have one of the things in which I have, which I use. You can take an iron spike and take that iron spike and kind of anoint it with, you can anoint that with some pine oil as well, and take that iron spike, put it inside your car. That protects everybody within that car. Haruka is with you, okay? There's all different kind of ways in which you can do this, okay? But it's all about, again, suspending that subconscious, suspending your intellect, and stop thinking about how do I make this work, and just trust in the spirit, or trust the spirits to make it work. Okay, again, psychologically speaking, all you're doing is going ahead and convincing your subconscious to hook up with your superconscious. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of ideas. I'm working on something right now that'll kind of get a little bit more in detail in regards to how to make this work, how to make the not so much how to make it work, but different ways in which we can go ahead and we can use this for other things such as success, health, whatever the case may be. So hopefully, like I said, that'll be done shortly. Okay. In the meantime, if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, feel free to drop me a line. Until next time, heads up.